Someone's in the kitchen with Bonnie. Yum.
Hey there, welcome to Someone's in the Kitchen with Bonnie, and today that someone is you. We're here at the Lutheran Church of the Cross, their commercial kitchen, and we're going to be putting together some things for Super Bowl today. One of the things we have is a lovely black bean salad. If you chop it up fine enough, it can also be made into a salsa, because it has all the wonderful ingredients of that, and that's what we're going to start with today. And then the second dish is a spicy shrimp salsa that's just delicious, and it can be served with chips or Fritos or pretty much anything that your little heart desires. So let's get started on this. I used canned black beans. Now you can do your own black beans if you want. You can soak them overnight and cook them, but who has time for that anymore? I certainly don't. So we have black beans, and they've been rinsed and drained, and there's just a tiny bit of moisture in the bowl still, just enough to give them a little bit of a glisten. Now the first thing we're going to put in is, it's so colorful. So this is corn, and I actually used frozen corn today instead of getting ears of corn. If you do use ears of corn, it's 2 ears, and this way it's a cup, and it's 3 15-ounce cans of black beans. Already it's looking pretty. And then after that we have some cherry tomatoes. These are this is a cup of cherry tomatoes. It said to quarter them, but I cut them in eighths because we're going to use it as a dip. So give that a little stir. Then we go for the red onion. This is a cup of red onion, and it's very finely minced. You can see it has a little moisture in the bottom. I'm going to try to leave that behind. And just get the red onion in there. So I do my prep a little bit early. So this has been prepped about an hour ago and kept in the refrigerator. And the nice thing about this salad or a salsa is that you can make it well in advance. You can make it in the morning of Super Bowl. And it's better if it sits for 2 hours before you serve it. So that works out quite well for somebody that's getting ready to welcome guests into their home, or somebody that's going to take something over to a Super Bowl party. That sounds like fun. Next, we have a whole bell pepper that I've cut kind of small. I was hoping for orange, but they didn't look very good today, so we went with red. No seeds. I take most of the pith out as well. Just makes it streamlined. It's all quite delicious. Oh, I can already smell it's getting there. Now my friends like spicy, so we're going to spice this up a little bit. It says the recipe calls for 1 jalapeno, but my jalapeno looked lonely, so I put a buddy in there. So we have 2 jalapenos, no seeds. We do have people that just can't deal with the heat, and I don't want anybody to be left out of this delicious dish. So we take all the seeds out and all the pith, and a nice pretty color. Then we add cilantro. I'm one of those people that loves cilantro. If I have a taco, instead of putting lettuce on it, I'll put cilantro on it. My friends that can't stand cilantro and think it tastes like soap think I'm crazy. And they might be right, but it sure is delicious to me. There's a gene or something in your DNA that if you have this certain thing, you don't like cilantro. I'm so glad I didn't get that. Now the last thing we're going to put in here before we make the dressing that goes on this is some lime zest. This is a zest of 1 lime and 2 tablespoons of lime juice. Get all that goodness from the zest in there. It already smells so good. I wish this had smell-o-vision. That lime juice just perks everything up with a little hint of the jalapeno in the back. How pretty that is. Okay, now we're going to make the dressing, which is really very simple. There's not much to it. And you would think that it would be made with lime juice, but it's actually made with white wine vinegar. So we have a quarter cup of olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, or EVOO as we said in culinary school. Then white wine vinegar. And then, let's see, how much did I put in here? I think I put in half a teaspoon each of cumin. I did chili and some salt. Now we'll taste this after it's all together just to see if we need to add any more salt. Kind of a big bowl, but oh, it smells so good. I wish you could smell this. Alrighty, looking good. Nice color. Lovely. Okay, we're gonna set this aside and go on to our next dish. Now, when I serve this out, when I put this out, I will usually dress it with some feta cheese, some lime wedges, and some avocado. So that adds a nice dimension. The avocado is nice and creamy, and it's really, really wonderful. We'll leave that there for right now and go on to the shrimp salsa. So for the shrimp salsa, oftentimes I would like to use the gigantic shrimp, but cutting them, it takes a lot longer. So I'm going to show you how I cut these shrimp to make a perfect salad size. I did not bring a bowl. Sorry about that. So here we go. One of the things that people do with their shrimp is they'll cut it here in front of the part of the tail. And there's a lot of good stuff in there. So I take the back of my knife, go right at the edge, and then it comes right out. Now there's still a little tiny bit in there, but it's not worth the effort. I'll show you that again. It's pretty fun. Kind of like magic. That's what the grandkids think. And then when we cut it this size, we don't have to worry about cutting it in half. It's just the perfect size for a salsa. There we go. Sorry about that. Kind of crowded you. Now you could also make this if you really wanted to with crab. Of course, that's a bit more expensive, but it still works. And truthfully, this recipe is good even without the seafood in it. It's just so delicious. So we have lime juice that's going to go in there from fresh organic limes. And then we have more cilantro. Actually, this calls for quite a bit more cilantro. Then it has purple onion or red onion. Just this one is a little bit hot. And then the radish is, again, I'd mentioned earlier, cut in brunoise. You can see how little this is. So it's quite labor intensive. And I've never taken this to an event where someone has not requested the recipe. And now every time I go to an event, it's there. I don't get to bring it anymore. But it's so fun. It's so fun and delicious. Now I would serve this with a hearty chip, not something that was delicate, some sort of a corn chip or maybe a Frito scoop, something where you can really dig in and get a lot of the goodness in one bite. Truthfully, I think the spoon would work well for me, but that's rude. This goes good with beer. I've had it served with sangria and, of course, whatever the regular cocktail du jour is. Gin and tonic, vodka tonic, margarita. Let's see. I'm going to start layering this a little bit. I'm add a little bit of onion in here. This is not necessary. You can do it all at once. But I like to play with my food a little bit. So I lived for a while in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and they referred to that as a drinking town with a football problem. And the Steelers were the team there, still are. And we had great fun with all the tailgate parties and Super Bowl parties. And this was always a big hit. I'm not really good at watching it because I still can't figure out what offsides means, but that's okay. Now this has just a little bit of jalapeno in it. Put a little of that in here. A little bit of the lime juice too, to get it started. So in one of the previous episodes, I mentioned about doing things in thirds. We do that for chili or for heavily seasoned stews, where you put some spice in at your spice profile in at the beginning, and it cooks in, and it gets one level of spice to it, or one level of flavor to it. Then when you're about halfway done, you put another third in. So that layers on top of what's already there and enhances what's already there. And then right before you serve, when you're your last little 20 minutes of heating, you put the last bit in, and it just bumps everything up tremendously. And I also mentioned that was my secret weapon for winning chili cook-offs. That was how I did the flavor profile with a spice packet. And of course, when you're in a competition, you have to make your spice packet at home so nobody knows what you're using. It's also funny, isn't it? Competitive cooking. I like the competitive eating part myself, but okay, we're almost done here. Goes pretty quick, this size. And as you can tell, my knife is pretty sharp. See what else we can add in here. Some of the tomato. A little acid from the tomato, from the lime juice rather. I'm not sure if the village has a Super Bowl party or not, but it would certainly be fun, wouldn't it? I suppose if we look at what's happening in the village, we'll know. Here at Lutheran Church of the Cross, I do a lunch every Tuesday for the seniors. It's called Senior Day Out, and we have a lot of fun. They sing, they have fellowship, they have a sense of community, and of course they eat. And that's my great pleasure to feed them every Tuesday. When I first started, I wasn't sure what they would like to eat. So I did my normal fancy frou-frou food, which they didn't really care for. They wanted more comfort food, which I learned quickly. But after I had been here for about a month, I got kind of a complaint that the portions were too small. And I realized that it was a buffet. So how could the portions be small? Until I realized the only thing that was not buffet was the dessert. So we fixed that. Now the desserts are also quite large. Alrighty, so we're gonna add the rest of the cilantro. Rest of the jalapeno. You don't want to miss any of that goodness. My father-in-law was a restaurateur, and he always said this last little bit was where the profit was. Pretty smart guy. Onion. Pretty, pretty. More color. Rest of the radish, the brunoise. All of these foods today I got from Smart and Final. And pretty good. I was pretty impressed. Rest of the tomato. My clock seems to have stopped, so I have no idea where we are. Rest of the lime juice. All right. Okay, so we're going to get some chips and give both of these a go to see if they need anything else. Now the shrimp sauce, it was a pound of shrimp, 2 tomatoes, a cup of onion. I'm not sure if I told you this already. A cup of cilantro, a quarter cup of lime juice, 2 jalapenos. I put in 2 jalapenos, and a little bit of salt. And this is actually good to go pretty much right away. Before I get the chip, let's just see. Let's see what this. Doesn't need anything except you and a drink in your hand and some football. Let's see. Nope, that doesn't need anything either. Okay, I'm going to set these aside, and we're going to go on to actually a third dish. So I'm going to show you how to make a broccoli salad that works really well on the table. I used to make it for vegetarians, but alas, it has bacon in it, so that's not going to help. So I'm going to sneak over here and get it out of the refrigerator. Also, all prepped and ready to go. Alrighty. So we start off with 3 pounds of broccoli, and it's not cooked, it's raw, and it's chopped pretty small. So good for salad size. We'll grab a spoon. Alrighty. And this has been sitting in the refrigerator for a little bit, so it's pretty good and chilled. I'm going to put this bacon in the microwave for 10 seconds just to ease it off the paper toweling. Put that in first, all that delicious bacon. I can't imagine this dish without bacon. I can't imagine a world without bacon, but that's just me. Okay, so we have a cup of craisins, or half a cup rather, of dried cranberries that are sweetened. Of course, they're naturally sweetened, I believe, but that goes in. Some red onion, that's not quite as finely chopped as we had with the two salsas that we made. And a third of a cup of red onion and a third of a cup of sliced almonds. So it's a good protein mix in here. Alrighty. So now for the dressing, it goes on this. We start with a cup of mayonnaise and some, what else did I put in there? Pepper, sugar, and wine vinegar, I think. Cider vinegar, that's what it is. So we have this cup of mayonnaise, and it's just regular old mayonnaise from the supermarket. The cider vinegar. I think it's almost a national rule that you have to have some sort of a bacony thing at a Super Bowl party. Seems that way anymore anyway. A little bit of sugar. A couple of tablespoons. And some black pepper. And that's all there is to this. And we put this on the salad, stir it up, and it's ready to go. Lovely. This is simple. This recipe is, it doesn't take much to put it together. The only cooking involved is bacon. Why do we put vinegar in here? It has a very different flavor than, say, white vinegar or red wine vinegar, and it complements the craisins in there very well, and it adds a brightness to the dish. And yeah, but it's very simple. There aren't very many ingredients, so it's quick to put together. It's nourishing with the broccoli, and you can get broccoli pretty much any time of year. And yeah, so we have a salad. Could be a salad, or could be a salsa, and a definite salsa. So 3 dishes whipped together. Okay, I did the prep work earlier, but still, it doesn't take very much. They're beautiful, they're delicious, they're nutritious, and they'll impress your friends. I hope you enjoyed these today. If you have any questions, make sure you email me at culinaryqueen24@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to answer any questions. And if you want to come and be with me in the kitchen, let me know.